want to go first?
Yes. Can you hear me? Doesn't sound very well. My name is Belinda Maples, and I am running to represent District 4 for Limestone County School Board. For those that do not know me, or for those that think they know me, I am originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm the oldest of 4 children, raised by some very devoted educators. My mother taught science in both middle school and high school, and my father taught science and math in college level. Both of them were very involved not only in the school system, but also in extracurricular activities that the school sponsored. And I spent my childhood cleaning out classrooms, preparing for labs, decorating bulletin boards, grading papers, helping with the lunchroom, and actually working as an office assistant in the front office. I really immersed myself in the atmosphere and the spirit of community that happens with schools.
Rita?
So I want to say it's a very noble cause, and I'm very supportive of schools.
Thank you, Belinda. And y'all are welcome to finish your thoughts.
Okay,
if
thank
the bell
you.
rings, you're welcome to finish your thoughts. Rita, if you want to give a 1-minute introduction.
All right. My name is Rita Jackson. I was born and raised right here in Limestone County Schools. My mother and daddy were Otis and Opal Sanders. We had humble beginnings. My dad came from a family of 10, and my mother did too. Neither of them graduated high school, and they wanted the best for us, and they provided that. My daddy was a business owner here in Athens, and my husband, who also was born and raised in District 4 of Limestone County, we both chose to raise our children in the same district. We could have gone anywhere, but we wanted to be here. This is home for us. Billy still drives a school bus for Limestone County Schools, and I'm a retired teacher. I graduated at West Limestone and then Athens State, and I'm getting tongue-tied. Now, y'all tell me if a fly gets on my head, okay? But anyway, our kids were all raised at Owens and West. I went to Elkmont until they rezoned, okay? And I'm running for the board because I'm a retired teacher. And I still want to serve education, and I have a passion for education. So,
Thank you. Belinda, we're going to start with you on this next question, okay? And you'll have 2 minutes to respond. Why are you running for Limestone County School Board, and how are you qualified for the position?
So why am I running and how am I qualified? Okay, so I'm running for the school board mainly not only because I am very passionate about education and helping to make the community better. You have to invest in the school systems. You have to be much more a leader as far as helping everybody working together to come to the common goal, which is to make the students be the best that they can be. Now, I have a background not only in business and office management and financials, but also in umpiring, calling balls and strikes, even when nobody likes what decisions you make. But it's all for what is best for the students. There's a lot that we can do to help everyone rise up and not suffocate from all the red tape and regulations, and not enough time is spent on cultivating the children to becoming the best that they can be. There is a certain amount where I have been observing schools, not only as a parent, but also as a chaperone for all the tours for the Dolphin Islands and Beta Clubs and tech school trips, but also learning all the students that all their needs are not necessarily what my children need. And we have to come together as a community, and we need someone that can encourage others to step up to the plate, to help each other out. Because we are not a community if we are not helping each other. It's easy to do things individually, but it really takes a strong leader to bring everybody together.
Thank you. Rita, you've got 1 minute to respond.
Well, I agree with what Dr. Maples said. We have to come together. We have to be able to listen to each other. I think one of the things that has occurred in Limestone County District 4 is a lack of communication. I think that we need good communication. We need to work together. We need teamwork. And as an educator who has spent, since 1994, I've been a teacher until I retired in 2016, I really have seen everything. Students be bullied. I've seen students who had no chance because of what was going on at home. I've seen all kinds of things happen to students. Helping them become the very best that they can be, whether it be a trade, whether it be college, or whether it be some type of career. Kids need the very best, and I think we have to work together to make sure that they do get the best. One of the things that when I was going to school is, sorry. Stop.
She's very quick with that button.
It does go quick.
You're welcome with a 30-second response. If there's anything else you want to add.
Well, I just want to say that when I was going to school, I was inspired by the teachers that taught me to become the person that I am, and I want to pass it forward. I want to use my talent not only to help others, but advocate for the students and the teachers, the administration, even the school board, because it's all based, because we have to be responsive to the community at large.
Right, thank you. Rita, you're going to start on this next question, and you'll have 2 minutes to answer this question. What is the biggest issue facing your district, and what is the biggest issue facing Limestone County schools, and what was your plan to address those issues?
I honestly believe that right now, 2020 has given us all challenges that we did not have prior to the COVID-19. I think teachers and principals are trying so hard to keep our kids safe. I think that with virtual school, there have been some issues, time, attendance, things of that nature. I believe that our board and our school teachers and our principals are doing the very best that they can. The kids are staying safe for the most part. Now, do we have issues that we can improve upon? Certainly. And honestly and truly, if we look back, when college online started their virtual classes, they had kinks to work out, because I took some classes. Not only did I take classes at UNA, the real class, but I also took classes at UWA where they were online. It was virtual. So our virtual school is going to have some issues, and we're going to have to be patient and look for answers, such as instead of requiring students to be logged in for 2 hours each day, we need to actually make sure that the students log in so many times per week, but the technology software should monitor how long the student is actually engaged, and college software actually does that. So I think that's something that we need to work out. There are issues such as bullying. There's things such as drugs in our school. And many years ago, we had a DARE program that was started in 1983. There's been a lot of research about that DARE program. We need a revamped program, and the DARE program was revamped in 2001 by a professor at the University of Kentucky. We need that in our schools desperately. So we do have issues, and that program looks at good decision making, not only drugs, but it looks at things such as bullying, making better decisions.
Thank you. Belinda, you can have a 1-minute response to that.
So the biggest issue that I think currently is definitely the COVID and the restrictions. And the information is very fluid, and it comes and goes, and I think everybody is doing the best they can with the information that we have. I think everybody is stepping up and doing their part, wearing masks, washing hands, and identifying cases and then making everybody else aware. I think they're doing the best that they can with that situation. I think the biggest issue is actually the amount of stress that our schools are under. We're getting a large amount of teachers that are retiring and getting burnt out because they're not only doing their role as a teacher, but also the parent role. They're doing more the discipline and making sure that they're fed, and the social skills that they should be learning more in the family, they're not. The teachers are having to do much more.
Thank you. Rita, if you want to close with 30 seconds.
I think you're right. Not only are teachers retiring, we're losing bus drivers
Oh, yeah.
left and right, and it's difficult. I think they have a challenge. I think that they are doing the very best that they can do, and I think parents are trying too, but they also have to be patient with the education system. Being a teacher for as many years, I taught from 94 to 2016, and we've seen everything. I mean, and there's some teachers here that I see, they know
Yeah.
it's difficult, so we need to be patient with educators.
Belinda, this next question is going to focus on student workforce readiness. And you're going to start with, and you'll have 2 minutes to respond. What plan do you have to ensure Limestone County students are employable and workforce ready when they graduate?
So the students to be workforce ready. It takes a team to do that. It's not going to be one program or one teacher or a certain amount of parents. It's going to be everybody working together. You have to develop an environment where you cultivate leaders, not only at the school board, but the administration, the teachers, but even the students themselves, that they can help teach each other. Because, you know, back in the day, the oldest taught the youngest. Once they learned something, they helped the others learn what they did. And we need to come together as a community to get everybody ready. There are some things that I was thinking about, doing workshops and surveys, not only with the parents, teaching them, you know, what's available and what direction we can go in, and actually looking at the curriculum at tech school and emphasizing, you know, more a magnet type atmosphere, where if you're going to engineering, these are the courses we can take. If we're going into medicine, can we already have a degree in medical assistance or phlebotomy or, you know, EMT? Those are the things that I know about. But there's a lot of things that we can do in with welding or computer design, or something that you can actually get a certificate in and be ready to start. And you know, we have a lot of resources and businesses in this community that would love to have students coming right out of high school. And I've talked with several who are willing to, you know, put some resources and money to help develop students to start working right after school. Because it benefits them, it benefits the community, because they're getting income as soon as they graduate.
You can take a 1-minute response.
Okay, Limestone County Tech System is one of the best. I attended the tech school when I was a junior in high school, and we had a CETA program back then. I worked at the Board of Education and at the probate judge office, so that job shadowing is a wonderful tool that should be implemented now. I can't say enough about our tech school. Not all kids are meant to go to college. Some kids need a trade. My daddy was a mechanic, and mechanics are in short supply, so I think that trades are just as important as preparing a student for college. The student needs to decide what he or she wants. We need a mentorship program, and that's an extension of the guidance program at school, where a student can, if they feel threatened, they can go talk to that role model. This has been implemented in Morgan County. I know for a fact because I was a guidance counselor there, and that works. Whenever you have a group of 35 students or 30, and those kids can come to you and talk to you if they feel bullied, it's very important. So I feel strongly about our tech program. I feel strongly about our guidance program, and I think an extension through mentorship is a good idea.
And you have 30 seconds if you want to.
I agree with mentorship because we have to, you know, guide students as well. Another way is that a lot of people don't like communicating out loud when they're being harassed or abused, is actually having an interactive website where you can report things or give ideas of how we can go in a different direction. Because I'm not saying that I have all the ideas, but I am listening and incorporating everything that people will say.
Okay, Rita, we're going to start with you on this next question. It is about school board budgets. A few years back, the school board had a significant deficit, and we wonder what you would do or what you would put in place to ensure that maybe that doesn't happen again, what a plan would be for a budget.
Well, I know that about $84 million was the budget, and I think that a few years ago that we had leadership, leadership that did not manage that well. I think that once we're put in place as a leader, that we are called to be good stewards. We should be responsible with what we are given. I don't think that anything should be spent frivolously just to keep up with other systems. I think that we have to look at what our children in Limestone County need, and it should be geared toward what our students need. And I think that having the leadership we have now, that I think things will turn around. I honestly believe that we're on the right track. We have someone in the role now that has 30 years experience from a progressive state, and I honestly believe that we're on the right track now. There should be tools put in place. There should be a checks and balances so that this couldn't happen again. Our system got into a bad way, and it does not need to happen again. So yes, there should be tools put in place. I think if everyone keeps their eyes and ears open and is not afraid to speak their mind, I mean, I'm not saying be aggressive, but be assertive if you feel like someone's doing something wrong, and speak your mind and keep your eyes and ears open. When I worked at the Board of Education as a junior, we had a bookkeeper. She was outstanding, and through the years we've had wonderful bookkeepers. I think a lot of times things are put back on a person who is working in a position such as that when it's not really that person's fault. So our leadership now should improve. Everything should get better, and we're on the upswing in Limestone County schools.
Belinda, if you want to address the school board budget.
I agree that we learn from our mistakes. And, once you get into trouble, you buckle down and you direct your energy toward, doing things that are much more accountable to the citizens of this county, because we are investing in the education of our kids, okay? We have to have systems of accountability and transparency. So when everything was being brought on the news, as a parent, I tried to find out some information, and it was nowhere to be found. I couldn't find out where we spent money, or I did find out how much we had per student. At the time, it was about $8,000 a student that was in the budget, but that didn't tell me where it was being spent. And I can calculate how many students are in a class and how much the teacher does. But if we were more transparent to the community, publicize it, or at least have it where we can have access to it.
Rita, if you want 30 seconds.
Okay. One thing that Dr. Maples mentioned that I would like to address, I know something was mentioned about the graduation rate. The state of Alabama always publishes the graduation rate, and we went from 89% to 90% over the last 5 years in Limestone County schools. So we increased our graduation rate. We spend $10,400 per student, and we do have an interactive site where you can report any kind of abuse or bullying, and it's through the Alabama Department of Public Health. That interactive site, if you know of any kind of bullying, you can go to that site online, put it in, and you will be contacted. for more information. Everybody may not know that, but I think everyone should, because there's too much of that going on the school bus, at school, on the playground. Yes, it needs to be reported.
Belinda, if you want to start with this question, school facilities. I know that they have built the new elementary school out in District 4. If there were any facility priorities in the district, what would you say they are?
So, facility-wise, it is, we need more accountability and transparency, and, we've got cameras in the hallways, because students can tell you a story and it not necessarily be the actual truth, because it's their perspective and not necessarily what actually was transpired, and so you need an umpire, somebody at the middle. In our building, it's one of the older buildings, so we have some issues, just superficial, with paint and flooring and sound systems, and equipment is probably the most that we need the most help with. Not only with science, mainly is the ones I know about, the burners, and my son just said that his cooking class needs a new blender, needs a new ovens, pots and pans. So it's just things that we can teach a trade to is more what we need, because the people and the students are really as good as anywhere in the state, and what I consider the best. It is more, do they have the resources that they need to accomplish what they want to accomplish?
Do you want to respond to that?
Yes, I would like to respond to that. Elkmont Elementary is on target to be built in the next couple of years. I think that's a great thing that our superintendent is already looking for plans and contractors that will open up soon. Sugar Creek costs $13 million, and it combined Owens and West Limestone Elementaries. And just recently, West Limestone Elementary, the old elementary, was torn down. So I have to give a shout out to our transportation and maintenance department. I think they do a great job trying to keep our facilities up. The custodians in the schools, they do as much as they can, and we're always going to have room for improvement, like the things that's needed in our family and consumer science and science labs. I know that we're always going to need those things, but some of the funding comes from the state, and there are often years that the state actually cuts back on that. So whenever we do not have those type of funding, we need to do fundraisers and help our teachers in any way we can so that they can get the blender and the things they need.
You want to respond to that?
A lot of those things are state and government financing is, I think the biggest thing that we can do is get the local businesses to also start helping, getting some resources and funding for things that would help the students be the best versions of themselves. So let's hope they come around.
So y'all made it through the hard part. We're on to closing statements, and Rita, you're going to go first with your closing statement. You have 1 minute.
Well, I have experience. That's what I have to offer. And with being retired, I think I have time to devote to listening to the people in District 4. We have need representation in each district. So if you would think about someone who's retired would have time to return your calls. Someone who is retired would have time to answer your emails. And I'm not saying that I will sway with the wind, but I will listen to what you have to say, and I will present it. So I want to earn your vote. I want to earn your trust. And my goal is to find the best for the students, the very best, help them to be the best they can and to build futures for our students, because we have some really good kids in Limestone County Schools.
Okay, Belinda, if you want to make your closing statement.
I have tried to think about what sets me apart from Ms. Jackson, and we both desire to serve others and to advocate for the school system. We are both dedicated to helping others, and I admire her completely for that. I think that what sets me apart, basically, is that I'm an outsider. I'm not beholden to anyone. I don't have alliances. I don't have bias or prejudice. I'm a little independent and a little more objective because I don't have preconceived notions about who people are or what they can bring to the table. I am not confined about how things were done in the past, and can think of things a little bit outside the box, being a little more creative and trying to bring some real world solutions to some of the common problems that the education has had to deal with. I really think my training as a physician and office manager umpire has prepared me to become a really good school board member, and I would really appreciate your vote on November the 4th.
Well, I thank you both very much.
Thank
and
you.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you having us.